You tune into the Sportscast with Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Give you all the sports news you need. We give you outspoken thoughts about all the headlines. We talk baseball, football, hockey, and more. No matter the topic, we cover it. Get ready for the show and keep it outspoken. Keep it outspoken. We keep it outspoken only on the Sportscast. Tune into the Sportscast. With Brian, Craig, and Jeff give you all the sports news you need.
Hey guys, welcome in to the Outspoken Sportscast here. It's episode 130. We're going to give you a spotlight of the week, which is going to be our top 10 quarterbacks list. And first of all, I want to apologize for not having a show yesterday. We had some things come up, and it worked out better to do it today. It's Brian, your host, Craig as well, and Jeff is supposed to be on here, but he's had some technical difficulties. Hopefully he might jump in. Hopefully he does. Because it's been a while since we've had a three-man show here, but we've got a lot of headlines to get into as well. Let's go ahead and jump into it right after this video. There we go. All right, guys, welcome in. We have a pretty good show for you today. Another squeaky toy there, Craig.
I done took them all away, I thought.
Sorry, Craig's dog is going to town on his
Hey,
squeaky
there's
toy.
Jeff.
You know? Oh, where? Is he in?
Yeah.
Oh, let's go.
There he is. All right.
This must be the phone view. Is this the phone view, Jeff?
This is.
Hey,
All right.
you sound pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, well, the sound quality might be terrible, but you don't sound too bad. All right. Well, welcome in, Jeff. I'm glad that we're able to have all of us on the show here. It's been a little bit since we've had all of us on here. Sorry, I'm playing with this, trying to figure out what's the best. Probably this one. Sorry. Jeff jumped on. I'm glad you're able to jump on here, buddy. Let me go ahead and take off that so we can see. There we go. That's much better. All right, guys. Well, Jeff, it's been a little bit. Good to have you on, brother. We've got the top 10 quarterbacks list. That's our spotlight of the week. We're going to give you our top 10 quarterbacks going into this season. I'm interested to see what you guys have and how our list may differ as well. And then we got the headlines after that. We've got a plethora of them to get to. But we're going to start from 10 to 1 because it's always interesting and better to do it that way than start off at the top, in my opinion. Unless you guys want to start at number 1. Do you want to start at number 1?
I'll let
you there.
It's whatever you want.
Okay. All right. Well, number 10. We'll start at number 10.
Yeah, let's do that.
I have Derek Carr at number 10. I think he's overrated. I think he's a pretty solid quarterback. He's got Devontae Adams to work with this year. They have a great wide receiver crew there in Oakland now. The defense is pretty. I think the defense is pretty good. This team is can be a scary team. They put it all together. They got a brand new head coach. I'm interested to see how this team goes forward. But I think Derek Carr is a very underrated quarterback, and I got him there at number 10. Craig, who do you got in the 10th spot there, buddy?
That's actually who I had. You kind of go back and forth between Kyler and him. I just don't think Kyler misses too many throws, and I think with the yards that he puts up with, that Carr puts up with what he had, I think having Devontae, he could have a breakout season.
I agree with you. I think he's gonna be real. What's the word? He's gonna be blessed this season. The offensive line holds up.
If they can protect him, I think he will.
A tough division, obviously. If he can get Jacobs running back there, is it Jake? That's Jacob. Is it Josh Jacobs? Yeah. If he can get a good running game, they got one of the best tight ends in the league. This team is set up for success with a new offensive coordinator as or offensive minded head coach there. Jeff, who do you got at number 10, brother?
I'm gonna have to agree. I mean, Derek Carr isn't necessarily horrible, and he's definitely not. I wouldn't say elite. So it's kind of that you kind of know what you're gonna get with him. That could bump up this year now that he's got a few more weapons, like Greg was talking about. But Raiders are very interesting because somehow, some way, all the time. They find a way to Raider it up.
Crazy.
That's other than my own division, my divisional team in the NFC North. That's the division I'm watching. That is a stacked division, and that sucks because this team maybe the year that they actually are going to be able to put something together, but you're going to have to win 11 games at least to probably win this division. So. Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Well, maybe not because I think they all beat up on each other. I don't think anybody sweeps.
True.
Nobody's going 5-1 or 6-0 in that division. I don't think.
Yeah, you never know, but yeah, you're probably right. Who do you got at number 9, Craig?
This is going to sound crazy, but I'm going to go with Dak. He just isn't. I think there's other guys that are ahead of him, and I think he's in the top 10, but I don't think he's up as high as some people will put him. So I think he was okay last year, but he's not in your upper echelon, which a lot of people are.
Jeff bounced out, guys. Sorry about that.
I'm back.
Okay, cool. Jeff is back. Jeff, Craig has Dak Prescott there at number 9. Who do you have at number 9?
Trying to think because I did not get a chance to see the list, so let me.
Well, I see when I do these rundowns,
and I tried to look at it just now, and my phone just I got out of the whole thing.
No worries. Well, when I do rundowns for the show and we do lists, I don't put my list. I don't share my list with you guys because I want it to be kind of a surprise.
Yeah.
So
when it comes to number 9. That's so weird because then it's hard to even because these are players that are playing this year. John Watson's possibly suspended, so that he's not even in the mix at all.
No possibility. It's going to be
yeah. I struggle because I was like, do I put him in here?
I would have to agree. I would have to agree with Craig on that. I do think that.
Interesting.
I do think that Dak would be 9. He still has a lot to prove, even though he's done a lot. It's just, it's hard because everybody.
And this year will be the test without Amari Cooper. You're gonna find out.
And it will be. Eventually, the problem with the thing with Dak is eventually excuses have got to run out. You got to get to a point where at some point you're either good or you're not, or you're okay.
Yeah.
And
either average or you're elite.
Yeah.
And
if he
goes out and has 5,000 yards.
Yeah. There are quarterbacks that are average that have actually done very well. So, I just think that is he in the elite status? Is he in the Aaron Rodgers status? It's very difficult to say there, and I would say no. But right now that could change this year. So nine seems fitting.
No, I could see him. I could see him there. I definitely would. We'll see. We'll see at the end of my list if he even makes the top 10.
Oh, stop.
So
Oh,
we'll see.
Well,
We'll
Rogers,
see.
Rogers just went down a couple pegs. We're gonna go to 7 or Rogers gets honorable mention.
I struggled with. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Dak is an honorable mention. Dak is not in my top 10.
God.
Dak is number 11.
Man,
And I will tell you this.
Go.
I will tell you this because of this reason. When Dak came in, I didn't really know much about him. He plays with great leadership. He has there's really no excuses of why he is not. They've not won more in Dallas. Last year, the eye test to me, and Ryan Sims will jump on here and give me numbers all day. The eye test to me said something was off. This is his year to prove. This is Dak Prescott's prove it year. Don't give me. Everyone plays with injuries. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. Everybody plays with injuries. He should have adjusted at some point if his calf hurt throughout halfway through the year. The Cowboys' offense was just a struggle at halfway through. It just kind of, where did it go? We were kind of questioning your offensive coordinators, like what are we doing here? This is his prove it year for me. And I think it's prove it year for the Dallas Cowboys. This is the year. There's going to be no more excuses for Dak Prescott, in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
It'll be super impressive with the wide receiver crew he's got, because he's going to be missing Gallup for the first few weeks, and
yeah.
I don't think they have anybody. So
it'll be tough. Dalton Schultz, did he show up? He thinks he's a top.
Yeah, we'll see.
Tight end.
And the other thing also is, whether you have top talent or not, we've seen quarterbacks that are great quarterbacks do things with no talent whatsoever. Peyton Manning did it in Indy for years. Aaron Rodgers is going to have to do it this year.
He's done
it a lot. He's done it a lot in Green Bay.
Right.
There. That's the difference here, though, because that's a complete different tier. Like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Josh Allen, elite quarterback, whatever, make guys better, and that's my biggest knock on Dak is I haven't seen him make guys that aren't so good better. But he's not an elite quarterback in my opinion. Obviously if I don't have him in the top 10.
Well, we'll see with CeeDee Lamb. I think this will be a breakout year for him. Hopefully, and maybe this is with Roger had a connection with who was the receiver that left? I'm trying to think of his name. Devontae Adams, and maybe it's CeeDee Lamb and Dak, and I think maybe that if that connection continues to grow, you may have a similar situation a little bit. So.
You could. I think it grows, but then you also got to think about there's a lot more pressure on Lamb. He's going to be taking double teams because Amari Cooper's not there. So his numbers might not be the same, and
especially with no Gallup. The first couple of weeks they're not going to show any of those rookies any respect.
So I think Dallas wins this division easily. I don't think there's a question. Or the Eagles probably that could fight for it with the talent that they had, the draft that they had. But I just think this is the Cowboys division to lose. But let's not get all about the Cowboy talk. This is not the Cowboys talk. This is top quarterbacks here. And at number 9, I actually have Lamar Jackson, a guy that I don't really think is that great of a quarterback. I think his problem is throwing the football, but he is a quarterback that is hard to stop. You've got to worry about his legs. He is the only quarterback, I think, that you really have to worry about him taking off and running as much as he does, like Michael Vick back in the day. But I got Lamar Jackson there. I think it's a fair spot to put him. Number 8, I have Matthew Stafford. He just came off a Super Bowl. I think he's a good quarterback, but I think at times he costs his team losses by throwing horrible interceptions. I told you guys in the playoffs last year they were going to lose by him throwing horrible interceptions, and the 49er guys was able to catch a punt. Then that easy interception, then they probably would have lost that football game. But he's a good quarterback. He's got plenty of talent around him to not succeed, and they're probably going to be really good again this season. but Matthew Stafford there at number 8 for me. Jeff, who do you got at number 8?
I'm probably going to go with Lamar on this because, and I put him just a shy above Dak because he does have success in the playoffs. The problem with Lamar Jackson, again, like you stated, is the fact that he does want to be that mobile quarterback first. And when he starts to rely on the throw, it's some questionable mechanics there that, they have to basically dial up an entire scheme for him to make that work. And it really just slightly above Dak, and not by much, because it's just because Lamar, I think he's won a lot. So, I mean, not a championship, but I mean, he has had some success in the playoffs in recent years, and I've been to the playoffs, all that kind of stuff. So, I think if I had to pick, I would go ahead and put Lamar Jackson in that category at number 8.
Right, and with a quarterback like Lamar, you're limited on offense, and when a defense kind of figures that out, then you have to think about, okay, well, if we're limited on offense already, we got to make some adjustments. It's hard to do so, and he has no wide receivers. His wide receivers is tight end. They took away Hollywood Brown there, so
right. And also, I mean, I'm also taking into account currently too, because in a lot of ways, I think that the Cowboys did rely on Zeke for a long time, and he's just not the same player anymore. And hopefully that may change, but I think they might be more of one-dimensional a little bit this year. And in a lot of ways, Baltimore is in a similar boat with Lamar Jackson being their number 1 guy. So kind of interesting. But I really give him that edge, just an edge, because he does have that he goes to the playoffs pretty consistently. So,
all right, Craig, who do you got number 8, brother?
Stafford. Same deal with the seems like anytime you get in the clutch, he tries to put the ball through the needle through the hole, and can really throw some bad, he throws some real good shots, but just like the one to win the game against the 49ers, I mean, that was a dime he dropped in over the top, but he can also throw some stuff and you're like, where were you throwing that? So yeah, that's where I'm going to go with that, just only because of, I mean, you really start to get it just, you're splitting hairs.
Yeah.
1 through 7, I mean, I could put him as high as about 6, or he can 8, because the next 3 are so close together.
And we talked about it before the last season, and we're going to do this actually on Tuesday coming up, Craig. This show coming up on Tuesday is we're going to give you a list of guys or coaches who we think have the most pressure on them. And I like to do it every year before football. I like to give my top 10 before football starts. And I said Matthew Stafford had the most pressure last year. He had the most pressure to win because we gave him we gave him some leniency because he played all his years in Detroit. We knew he was a good quarterback. Like he had the stats there, but he never won because of Detroit. And we kind of like let him off the hook a little bit. So he's pressured to win now because of the team he has, the talent he has, the head coach he has, and he put it together. They won the Super Bowl. So kudos to him for handling that pressure. But so we'll do that on Tuesday. So look forward to that episode, guys. YouTube, guys, if you're on YouTube, you can comment and we will put it on the show. And we like to have the fan comment as much as possible. So please interact with us if you're watching us from YouTube. It doesn't have, I don't think it works on Twitch or Facebook yet, but YouTube, it definitely does. All right, guys. Well, we're on number 7 list here on the top 10 quarterbacks. Jeff, do you have a number 7 quarterback you want to give us?
I'm gonna go with Stafford.
Stafford. Hey, we're gonna have some of the same. We're gonna have the same names. Hopefully,
right.
We get a little crazy here,
but mainly because I think that getting that monkey off his back is probably really huge. That was the first time he has been in compelling games in his entire career. As much as that defense, the defense bailed him out a lot. in the playoffs for sure. Kind of covered up some of those mistakes, but I think that this year he might, now that that's over and he does have that Super Bowl win and he has that success and he smelled it, and I think that he might fine tune some of those mistakes, and I can see that he may not make as many this year. I don't think obviously he'll make some, but I just think that getting that monkey off your back is huge. Massive for a player. And it's also, I mean, again, football is physical, but it's also mental. And whenever you're in an environment like Detroit, and you have nothing to play for ever, and you finally have something to play for, I could see him just maybe doubting himself. And I think this year we may see a huge difference confidence-wise in Stafford than we've seen before.
I think so. And well, you look at this team too. He plays on the most aggressive team. This management goes out and they don't care about first round draft picks. They go out and replace wide receivers. Odell Beckham Jr. went out. They got Allen Robinson from the Bears. They just replaced with a great wide receiver. So that helps. This defense helps. He's set up really well there, and it's kind of hard not to win with that team. But and the division got worse. Russell Wilson's gone. The Seattle Seahawks will be nothing this season. We still don't know. Drew Lock is garbage. We still don't know. Sorry, Jeff. I know he was your quarterback, but he was not good. You look at the 49ers. Is Jimmy Garoppolo or is Trey Lance starting? We have no idea yet kind of what's going on with that with the trade rumors, but this is their division. I think they win it, but Craig, you want to give us your number 7, brother?
I got Russell.
Russell.
Yeah, I got Wilson. I think he's had some rough years to finish up Seattle, but I think he's going to go to Denver, and I think he'll be good. But with the other 6 guys I got, I mean, again, we're splitting hairs the next couple spots. So I think that's who I got as Russ.
Russ is great. I think he has an amazing season this year. He's not here for me at number 7. Number 7, I have Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert, fantastic. There was a rumor that Green Bay tried to trade Aaron Rodgers to the Chargers for Justin Herbert, and if we did, then we might win another Super Bowl because Justin Herbert is aggressive. He throws a pretty downfield football, and he's not as scared to throw the ball. This guy coming out of college, I watched him in college a little bit. His biggest knock was he when he gets pressured, he doesn't do well. And I was like, we'll see. Maybe he's not ready to start right away. My gosh, he's blown that out of the water. He is aggressive. I like this team. The defense, it sucks that they play in this division because this is another team where you're going, they probably win in any division they're in except the one they're playing in because they've got 4 other good teams there. But I really like Justin Herbert, and I think his cannon of an arm with this offense and this team is going to be very successful this season. Number 6. Oh, number 6. I got Joe Burrow. Joe freaking Burrow. And I almost picked Justin Herbert, number 6, but I said no. Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl with being the most sacked quarterback with no offensive line. Almost won it. If they hold up Aaron Donald for 2 more seconds, they win the Super Bowl because Jalen Ramsey was on the ground and Jamar Chase is right behind him. Joe Burrow, I love Joe Burrow so much. He's fantastic. And coming off that leg injury last season, he answered the bell. This team looks to be up on their way up and not slowing down, man. I really like Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Craig, who you got at number 6, brother?
I got Brady. I think Father Time is starting to wear on him.
A little low, but hey.
Not with. I mean, you can't. I can't put him up there with these guys like Mahomes and Allen and Herbert, and I just can't. I mean,
I think you're the first I've heard say that.
Yeah, I mean,
which is fine. That's
just,
great.
I mean, back in the day, yes. I just don't think now. I think they've lost some talent. He loses Gronkowski. I just don't think he's going to have the season. And I think Brady's always been known for pass rush. If he get a little pressure on him, put some stuff in his face, he doesn't do as well. And I think the NFL today is built around pass rush and built around that. And I think he's going to struggle a little bit. I mean, I think they make the playoffs, but I think he's going to struggle a little bit.
Let me stop you right there, because they could go 8-9 and win that horrible division. That division is
especially
crap.
with the news that New Orleans just got.
Yeah,
if that's true.
Which we'll talk in the headlines about that. Jeff, who do you got number 6, brother?
I'm gonna have to probably go and say Brady. I'm probably gonna do the same. Mainly because I agree that the game has changed. Brady does not do well under pressure. He never has. There's been countless times where Denver beat them, and it was pressure. Or anytime I've actually seen them lose, usually it's like if they can get pressure on Brady, you can win the game. Unless
that's the game plan when you play them.
That's how you beat any quarterback just about.
Well, not always.
Yeah, but I mean, Russ has mobility, and
right.
Burrow's got a little mobility, and Jackson's got mobility. He has none. Like
you can't blitz Mahomes. You don't want to blitz Mahomes. Like that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like you
Patrick's going to saw him and Josh Allen will side swing it, around people. Brady just doesn't do that.
But, Brady doesn't. Once you start hitting him, then he starts getting frustrated. Throwing his helmet, looking at the ref. It happens constantly. And so when that happens, I can see that happening this year. And again, they're going to win their division. But is this really anything other than a pad year? Pad some of the stats, get some more yardage on his little ticket counter, and and just kind of ride off into the sunset and say, oh well, now I'm retired. But I don't know if he's looking at winning a championship this year, because I don't think that's realistic.
Well, look,
I wouldn't think so.
Well, look, guys. Okay, I don't want to be on here as the Tom Brady supporter, because I was pissed when he came back. Okay, first of all, Tom Brady only plays to win championships. He's not coming back unless he has an actual chance to win. This team is still good. They've got a great defense. They still have an offense. I'm not counting him out, and he's going to make the playoffs. And Tom Brady in the playoffs performs really well. I'm just saying, I think it's a little too low. I like it though. I like it. I just think it's a little too low. Is all I'm saying. Number five. Jeff, do you want to give us yours number 5 first here? Who do you got at number 5, brother?
I'm gonna go with Wilson. I'm giving him 5 mainly because I just think that he's now in a new system, new everything. I mean, obviously he's going to be the number one dude running the show on offense. When it comes to trying to figure out what to do with this talent that we have, that's been sitting for 2 years.
Wait. Let's wipe off that dust and let's do
oh my God. So the good thing is they've been practicing consistently, even without no mandatory practices. They were just doing it on their own consistently for the last month or so, and practicing and getting like familiar with each other and everything else. I think they've even gone out on like team outings and stuff. I really think I could put them higher, but I decided not to, mainly because this is a new team. And if I start getting ahead of myself, then it's like I'm not being very realistic,
That's kind of why I put him down where I did.
Yeah, it's a new team, it's a new everything, and new offense. When we first got Peyton, we lost the first 2 games, and I remember people going, "Oh, well, that's it," And then after that, it took off. So I'm still just kind of having that that little thing in the back of my mind going, let me wait and just make sure. But I think it's going to be great overall, whether it happens at the beginning of the year, midway through the year. I do think that this is one of the best moves that Broncos have made, and the talent on the team is incredible, and the running back we have is incredible. Even Melvin Gordon, even though he's only there for about a year, but all that's a great setup. So I think that relieves a lot more pressure off him as well. The defense, our secondary is really good. So I think that overall he's in a great position to thrive. And so maybe next year I would bump him up depending on what we see this year. But as of right now, I'm gonna keep him there at 5.
I totally agree, Jeff. I got Russell Wilson number 5 as well, and he's talented. He's had the mobility. He throws a pretty football, and I think people have actually kind of a little bit forgot about Russell Wilson in Seattle in his last couple of years. He was there with a head coach that wanted to run the ball consistently a lot, and the fans were like, "We got to let this guy throw the ball." And so I think he's going there. This team, I've been fighting for the Denver Broncos the last couple of years, arguing with people. This team is set up really well. They have talent. Jerry Jeudy's been waiting to have a guy to throw the ball to him. Cortland Sutton, Noah Fant, your running back you just drafted, fantastic. Your defense is even
Devontae Williams, the human ping pong ball,
the human Mack truck. He's a beast. And then you got this defense that's stood up really well. And Denver's always had a really good defense when they win championships. They've always had a fantastic defense. They've got these teams. They're missing a quarterback. Russell Wilson's that guy, and I think it's going to be pretty easy for these guys to connect with him. And Russell Wilson may be higher on the list next year. I put him at number 5 because of all those factors you guys have already named, and because his off years the last couple seasons. But I think he's going to thrive in Denver, and it looks the future's bright.
It is. One interesting note is when they had OTAs, they went up against first string defense versus first string offense, and the first throw that Russell Wilson threw, Patrick Surtain II picked him off.
Oh man, yeah.
And so I was like, oh man. And then they said after that, the whole offense stayed for an extra hour after that to get on the same page.
He was just he was getting that out of the way. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way. And
I'm glad he's got that Peyton-esque style where it's like, no, we're gonna stay an extra hour. Like we're gonna continue working on this. So that doesn't happen anymore. So, but I mean, that shows also how amazing, Patrick Surtain II is. He's incredible. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was a great draft pick that the Cowboys wanted, but y'all snatched away.
They got out of it. They got a good guy out of it.
Oh, they got a great guy that if they just left him to rush the quarterback, he'd be the best pass rusher in the NFL. But they want to play him as a linebacker as well. Anyways, Craig, well, who's your number 5?
I got Joe Burrow.
Yes.
I just think, the Super Bowl last year, he's coming back from the knee injury. It could have been a down season, and it wasn't. I think the sky's the limit for this guy. I think he's got the relationship, that one-on-one with Jamar Chase. He knows where he's going to be, and Chase knows where the ball's going to be, and he's throwing the ball before Chase ever comes out of the cut. And I just think, I almost could have put him a little higher. So,
so
that's number 5.
The time there, the time they had in college, they already had that chemistry together. So it comes right over the NFL. And when I think about Joe Burrow, I think about his mental toughness. You got a guy that blew out his knee, literally,
just shredded. The whole thing.
Yeah, the next year he's the most sacked quarterback in NFL history to make a Super Bowl. That coming off a knee injury and you're going in, you're getting sacked left and right, it could have messed him up. It could have ruined him mentally, but he didn't let that happen, and he still continued to go to the freaking Super Bowl with the Bengals. So I love Joe Burrow. Number 4, I got a guy that's fallen down the list a little bit over the last couple of years. I got Patrick Mahomes. I couldn't take him out of the top 5. I couldn't put him at number 1 or 2. I think he's fallen a little bit the last couple of years. I think defenses have continued.
My mind.
Defenses have, learned how to kind of slow him down a little bit. He lost his best wide receiver on the team. So we're going to see this year if he can make other guys better. He's got a great tight end to rely on. He's got one of the best offensive play callers in the NFL. I think he's still a great quarterback. I got him at number 4. Jeff, you said I took yours?
Oh, I said you read my mind.
I read your mind. Yeah.
I think we're all three going to agree here.
I got him at number 4. Also, what I saw last year looked like step down. Even though they did get to where they were at, I think that there were some struggles throughout the season. I don't remember if they swept our division or not. I know they swept the Broncos, but I don't remember if they split with the Chargers. I'm pretty sure they probably beat the pants off Raiders. But throughout the year, I didn't see that greatness that we've seen before, and I don't know what was going on. It just didn't look good. So
he reminds me of, if I had to compare him with a NBA player, he reminds me of Steph Curry. And I say that because when he came in, he kind of changed the game a little bit. It was Hail Mary here, Hail Mary here, Hail Mary there. And when Steph is on, Steph is on. But when we've seen Steph struggle a couple years, he's still good. But obviously they won the championship this year. But I don't know, it just popped in my head. I think that's a good comparison with the two guys. But
yeah. I mean, I agree. I just, if we get another year like that, something's up. I don't know what it is. I don't know if maybe the defenses have started figuring them out. I'm pretty sure that my division has figured them out. I don't know if the Raiders have or not. I know the Broncos have played them very close the last couple of years. Actually, the last 3 times we met them, we played them pretty close, and especially that last game. And so
y'all should have won that last game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then the Chargers, I think the Chargers have gotten used to them too. And maybe other teams in the league have also figured it out with him of what to do and what not to do. And it's all about, if that's happening, how is Andy Reid going to adjust to that? How is he going to adjust the game plan if they're getting adjusted on as well? So I think it's all about kind of doing that next step in his career of, well, maybe they're figuring out our stuff. Maybe we need to change things up. But the fact that he doesn't have his number one weapon is a huge, huge, huge deal. I think everybody who is a Kansas City fan wanted to pull their hair out that day because it was like that was the last thing they wanted to do.
I didn't understand letting this guy walk. And, it
changes the way they play. You can't take the top off the defense anymore.
Well, that's the biggest issue, because last year the struggle was that Patrick Mahomes isn't patient enough to do those long drives. He's not patient enough to take a 12 drive all the way down to score. He likes to do it. He likes to score quick and score fast. And that's kind of what his struggle was. Now they did go out and they got MVS from Green Bay, who's a burner, but he's not Tyreek Hill, or we would have kept him, right? He left Green Bay because he drops a lot of passes. So it might be, we might see Patrick Mahomes struggle a lot this year, but Andy Reid and them are working on that. I think they're going to be just fine. I think they'll compete for the division. I don't think it's something that I don't think people are scared of Patrick Mahomes anymore. Like a couple years ago, you were like, I want nothing to play this guy. And this division, especially the Broncos, Broncos went out and they've drafted defense to compete with the passing game of the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chargers drafted offense to say, hey, well, if you're going to put up 45 points, we're going to try and put up 45 points a game. Yeah. So I like this. This division's the toughest and strongest in the NFL.
Each team in the division made moves to combat each other. And so, and the Broncos have been building up that secondary for a while. And and we kind of, the complete piece was Patrick Surtain. And so, once we got that piece, it was like, hey, go ahead and throw on us,
Yeah.
and so it's just, I think that made those games last season closer than they were. And that really challenged Mahomes a bit because that secondary was on it every game. And so it's just it's interesting because you have the Chargers doing moves in a different direction and the Broncos doing moves in a different direction, and it'll be interesting to see how the season plays out.
Yeah,
to see which moves work.
This is division going forward, and these are younger guys. I mean, Russell Wilson's the oldest quarterback, but he's not Tom Brady who can't move. So
Right.
this division is gonna be tough for a while. Number 3, Craig, who do you have at number 3?
I got Rodgers. I just think that he's still in the elite category, but losing Devontae and not having a whole lot, it's going to make it a little more difficult on him. So,
Understandable. Craig, Jeff, who do you have at number 3?
Did I say 3?
I'm going to have to agree. I'm going to go with Rodgers. He doesn't knock anything off of him. He's a great player, arguably one of the best in Packer history.
The best quarterback in Packer history.
Bart Starr, I don't know.
No,
but
Bart Starr was good. Brett Favre was great. Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback to ever play in Green Bay.
Okay.
And I love Brett Favre, but sorry, go ahead.
No, you don't.
Hold on here. I love some Brett Favre, man.
So yeah, I will say that just because the only reason he's knocked just a tad is because they did lose quite a bit of his they lost his number one dude. Now he's playing in Las Vegas, and it's just it's going to be interesting to see who emerges as his next great favorite target kind of thing.
Christian Watson, hopefully.
Yeah. You just saying that because of Watson?
Well, he's a good wide receiver, but I love that we drafted him because I can order a jersey with my last name on it and have it be organic. I don't have to pay extra to customize it and do all the fancy. Look, Aaron Rodgers did lose Devontae Adams, and logically I'm going, that's going to hurt us. But we're 8-0 without Devontae Adams, and this actually forces Aaron Rodgers to spread the ball around, and I like that idea because Aaron Rodgers spreads the ball around in the regular season. We go 13-3, we're 13-4, and then when we get to the playoffs, we lose because he just focuses on Javonte Adams. Game on the line last season. Go watch the play. Lazard's wide open in the middle of the field, and he throws into triple coverage. Davante Adams. He missed when we played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the playoffs the year before. He missed Lazard in the end zone because he tried to force the ball. This opens him up to going, okay, I don't have anybody really to throw the ball to. I've got to spread it around, and that may actually help Green Bay. Obviously, losing Davante, he's a number one or number 2 wide receiver in the league. His getting off the ball is the best in football. He made Jalen Ramsey look ridiculous this last offseason, so he will be missed. But on the other side, there is that thought that this could actually help Aaron Rodgers because he has to spread that ball around, and we got a good running game and a good defense. I'm excited for the season. Number 3, I have Tom Brady. All right, I couldn't take him out of the top 3. I know he's not as athletic as the other guys. I cannot go and doubt Tom Brady. He's going to win the division. I think that's why he came back. He was gone for 2 months. He said, wow, this division's complete trash. I can really walk into the playoffs easily. Let me come back. We can keep the team together. They did make a head coaching change. I do believe that's because Tom Brady said, hey, if I'm coming back, you got to get this old hag out of here. So we'll see how it works out. I think they're going to win the division. I think they're going to compete and be one of the best teams in the NFC. So I got Tom Brady there. I'm really interested to see it number 2 and number 1. I'm really interested to see who we got. At number 2, Brett Favre. Is that what you said? Number 2, I have Josh Allen. Josh Allen is a fantastic quarterback. who we've literally been able to watch progress in front of our eyes. This is a guy when he came in, he didn't really have control. He was overthrowing people by 15 yards because he's got a absolute cannon of an arm. And we've seen him where he's able to put touch passes now. He's able to hit those guys. He plays with a really good team now. The defense, this offense, they've got him some offensive weapons. And if their defense holds up for 10 seconds in the playoffs last year, he's going to the Super Bowl. So there's that. This guy is fantastic, young, a beast. He will run you over like Henry, and he will throw a rocket. He's just a fantastic quarterback there as well. In Buffalo, number 2, Craig, and I think I know your number 1, but who's your number 2, Craig?
Herbert.
Oh, you have him that high. Oh, he's
yeah.
fantastic.
I mean, this kid is just amazing. He's transformed the game, and I think he just throws the ball on a dime. He throws the ball on a rope. They're going to win some. They're going to win some really. They're going to win a lot of football games this year, and I really just love everything about him.
Let me give you your number 1. Your number 1 is Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Jeff, who's your number 2?
What Allen did last year.
Number 2 is going to be Joe Burrow.
Okay.
I say Joe Burrow because, I want to see him. I want to see him try it. I want to see him do it again. I think that, versus the number 1 that I have, I think that he had a lot more. I mean, I don't know. I just think that I want to see him do it again. I want to see him get there again. And I don't want it to be this like, oh, maybe this was a little fluke. I don't know. And we've seen it in the NFL before. So, I mean, we saw it with, other teams and they've won, and then all of a sudden they kind of faded off and everything. I don't think that will happen, but I just want to see more of him, and I want to see more play out of him.
Look, so, Joe Burrow,
but it doesn't take away, because honestly, he could be either or.
Joe Burrow made me want to go buy a Bengals hat last season in a jersey. I mean,
jersey,
that guy.
Yeah.
I'm in love with Joe Burrow. I have a man crush. I ain't gonna even lie. Man.
I was 100% a Bengals fan on the AFC
dude,
side.
When my team was out in the playoffs, I'm going. Let's go to you. Let's just jump on.
As soon as the Cowboys lost, I'm like, well, I hope the Bengals win it all.
Yeah, let's go.
I had no idea that was a thing,
yeah,
but
yeah, we went to Pluckers and watched the Chiefs and Bengals game. And yeah, it's fantastic. I was like, man, I really want to go buy a Joe Burrow jersey. This guy's just absolute beast, and
he is next level, and I think he is the next phase of the NFL. After we've had Mahomes.
Ridiculous with those guys.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna see the shift, because it used to be that the NFC was it, but now we're gonna see those shifts. Over to the AFC if it already hasn't happened. I mean, well, number 1, I already gave your number 1 away. Let's talk about your Josh Allen here, Craig. Since we already know what your number 1 is, give us why you think Josh Allen.
I just think the kid. He put the work in when he came into the NFL. His footwork was off. His accuracy was off. I mean, he had the arm that could throw it out of the building, but everybody said that he couldn't make the throws and whatever. And he took this pandemic year or the offseason or whatever he took and went and worked with, I think he worked with one of the the not David, but there's another Carr brother, the third one.
I don't know his name, but yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He just changed his whole game and comes back and I mean, the kid is just under pressure. He's just insurmountable. He's just he doesn't fade. Nothing phases him. I mean, they could be down 3 scores, and he's just like, yeah, I got it. I'll throw it back in the game.
I love it when you can see a guy progress.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what you
Yeah,
want to
I mean,
see in any
100%.
players. And what you've seen him progress. He was like that guy on the I remember the Titans that could throw a ball a mile, but he couldn't make that pitch. And you're like, come on.
Yeah.
We've seen him progress, and everything that every year. That's why if you're a great player, that's what you do. You go, what can I work on? And you fix it. And you come in next season, you work on it, and you see that progression, and then you go, okay, well, what do I need to work on? And when we're talking about progression, Joe Burrow progressed really fast. I wonder what his progression is going to be, and he's already made the Super Bowl. What can we expect of him? But Josh Allen's progression has been fantastic, and I think the Bills are set up to take off, and they've already kind of there. But can they get over the hump to get the Super Bowl? And I think Josh Allen's definitely that guy to lead them there. Jeff, who do you have as your number one quarterback?
Oh, Troy Aikman. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm going to go with Josh Allen as well. And I just think that that game between him and Joe Burrow was one of the most insane playoff games I've ever seen. And he had a lot of heart. He didn't give up. The dude, I mean, I think at one point, I don't remember if he got the ball off and just got hammered, but he got right back up and was ready to go again. And I don't know, man.
Are you thinking of him and Patrick Mahomes? Because the Chiefs, yeah,
Patrick Mahomes, and but yeah, like I just think that was just an incredible game, because he wouldn't give up, he wouldn't stop, this dude, I mean, it wouldn't even surprise me if he had broken an arm and was still going out and still playing the game. And so I just think that this dude is ready to go. He's ready to show the world, and the Bills are legitimate, man. They're going to be a good team. And if there's any team in the AFC that worries me more than anything, it's the Bills.
They're going to be there competing at the end. I like their head coach, what he's done with his team. I like the defense, this offense, and Josh Allen is set up to.
And he's not this, like, I don't know. It's hard to really say, but he's not this prima donna quarterback. He's not this clean cut. Just he's rugged. He's
country strong out there. You got to be country strong to play there in Buffalo.
I mean, it's a rough dude. Like, and so I'm just like, this guy's. He kind of reminds me of just like, I don't know. I mean, just a quarterback that he doesn't care what happens. He could lost a tooth in the game, and he probably will still go out there and not even care. He doesn't give a crap. He's going to do it, put his team on his back, and win games.
It's a quarterback that I think could play in any era of football. He could play when they weren't protected. This dude could have played in the 90s whenever it was like cutthroat and hits, and there was not any kind of like, oh, you can't touch the quarterback. This dude would have thrived in that era. Yeah, he would have it would have been awesome to see that. My number one, I haven't listed him yet. You know who it is. It's Aaron Rodgers. Okay. It's not because I'm biased. If you're going to give me a top 10 list and if you don't have Aaron Rodgers in the top 10, you're that don't know what football is. Look, he's back-to-back MVPs. He's done fantastic in the regular season.
Down those cheese curds. Calm down.
He's fantastic. Okay. This guy said, Green Bay, you're going to draft a quarterback to replace me? Well, I'm going to put up back-to-back MVP seasons and make it very awkward around here. Do I like some of his shenanigans? No, but the guy's fantastic. He's the elite of the elite in the NFL, in my opinion, and he's going to put up he's going to win another division. We'll see what he does in the playoffs, and that's all I got to say. You all know of Aaron Rodgers' greatness.
Who is that? Number 12?
Number 12. What are we talking about? All right, guys. Well, I knew it was gonna be a long show. When we go through a list, it takes a while, and we're almost 52 minutes in on just the spotlight of the week. We're gonna jump into the headlines, which we got quite a bit. We might cut some of them out. I don't know if they're noteworthy, but we'll see. We'll see here right after this. After I find the little video clip here, there we go. right, guys. There's been a lot happening in the NBA. It's kind of why I got the background here. We've had the NBA draft. We've had some very interesting Kyrie Irving information. Let's start with the draft actually, because that happened. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't follow the NBA draft. I don't know a lot of players coming out. I don't follow college basketball all that well. I'm going to be straight up blunt and honest with you because that's who I am. But Craig knows the draft here, and he's going to give us a little bit of information. Anything crazy happened? Anything noteworthy? The NFL or the not NFL draft, the NBA draft that happened. Oh, muted Mike. Can't hear you.
Other than the order being all thrown out of whack, Orlando threw everybody a curveball. You know, they had Jabari Smith, all week. And then at the last minute, it comes up and they say, you know, that Woj says they're going to draft Paolo Banchero. And I mean, maybe he's a better fit. I just don't think he's the best basketball player in the group. And yet they take him first. So that kind of threw things out of order. Houston at 3, I think, got the best basketball player, and they didn't have to move to get him. So
it's always nice when it kind of just falls in your lap.
Yeah, when it falls in your lap like that. I mean, Detroit at 5 gets Ivy, and I mean, they didn't have to move. I mean, I think if you want to talk about a winner in the draft, then it's the Detroit Pistons. They get Ivy, and then they make some trades. And with New York, and they get another guy. They get their big guy. I just think they got like 3 players.
Well, Detroit got a great, fantastic player last year. I think they're trying to build around him.
Yes, Cade Cunningham. They got their guard, and now they got Ivy to go with him. Those 2 in the backcourt, or the front court, however you want to call it. That amazing. Detroit's going to make some leaps and bounds in the East. So I think they're going to be thing. They got the coach from Toronto that has gone over there and trying to turn things around and thing. So I believe that deal.
Did I hear that right with the Knicks? Did the Knicks even pick anybody, or did they just get trade pick?
I think they traded the pick and also they traded we're just talking about him this morning.
Kemba
Walker. Kemba. They added Kemba Walker in the deal. So I don't think they drafted anybody. I think they went further down the board and gave Detroit their pick and got Detroit's later pick. And put Kemba Walker and see, the NBA is weird because they drafted the guy in the spot, but then they gave him the rights to him to Detroit. So it's weird because it's not like the NFL where they trade the pick and then Dallas or whoever, gets the pick makes the selection. Yeah. Actually, the Knicks made the selection, and then he'll just go to he put a Knicks hat on and then he'll go to the team.
And then that's so dumb. It's so.
Why would you even put the hat on?
They do that every time. They do that every time. They're like, "Here's the hat, yay!" And then you see him playing for Detroit. You're going, what?
Didn't that happen with Luka? Wasn't Luka?
Yes, the same thing.
I remember him wearing a different hat, and I go, "What the?"
He put the Atlanta hat on. Atlanta drafted him, and then gave him the rights to. Yeah,
happened with Kobe too, right? He was drafted by the Hornets.
Yes, the Timberwolves.
And then Timberwolves, and then he's the LA Lakers. Thank goodness.
Well, if only he played for the Timberwolves.
It might be a different story, but all right. Well, the biggest interesting NBA news is Kyrie Irving. We talked about it a little bit last week or Tuesday, I believe, that he's at an impasse with the Brooklyn Nets. He wants to get a supermax deal. Brooklyn said, you played like 10 games last year, and no thank you, sir. But he came out with a list that he wants to play. If he can't go there, he wants to go to the Lakers, the Clippers, the Knicks, the Heat, the Dallas Mavericks, and the 76ers. Now, Craig said right before we started the show, basically that everyone's declined except the Lakers.
Yeah, everybody's out. Maybe Miami.
Maybe Miami might be interested. The Mavericks,
but Miami is interested in Durant, because
We'll get into that in a second. Don't jump too far. I know I didn't put it on there. I want to get that in a second. Now, look, I thought this was asinine because the Lakers can literally only pay Kyrie Irving $6 million next season. So if he goes there, he's getting paid $6 million and he's leaving millions. Now, and I said in my head, I go, no man in their life, person, woman, what doesn't even matter, is leaving that much money off the table. But we're also talking about the craziest, one of the most asinine people you ever meet. Ever. So I could see it happening. I could see him going back and playing LeBron for $6 million. And the Lakers with Kyrie Irving and LeBron and street clothes and Russell Westbrook. If they can't win with that, then you need to just blow it up. But
they'll get that guy fired in year 1 too.
Kyrie Irving, look, and I go back and forth on this. I'm a newly Mavericks fan. I know. I go back and forth on this. Would y'all, as Mavs fans, let me ask you this question first. Would you take Kyrie Irving? Yes or no? Just give me yes or no. Craig, yes or no? Would you?
No, he's a cancer everywhere he goes.
No.
I go back and forth because you're exactly right. This guy's a cancer. He sucks. His personality sucks. He's just crazy. But then I think, man, how can the Mavericks be picky? They've never once in their life been able to get anybody to come here to play.
But it's the bigger picture. It's the longer road, and I think that's what I would look at. Like, currently whatever. But I mean, if once he starts poisoning that locker room,
I get that argument, but then I'm like,
take the fix.
He's your best option.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what what's his name? Rondo did to the Mavericks. He poisoned that whole locker room, and it took him years to,
I get both arguments. I'm just like, but he's your best option.
Look what he did to the Nets.
Brunson's leaving, and what she said, he's coming back, and then you hear rumors that he's headed to New York because they're gonna.
I think that's just a ploy to get more money. I think that's a ploy to get more money.
If the Mavericks give Brunson a supermax, I'm going to lose my crap because he's not worth it. Not worth. Would you pay Brunson supermax, Craig? A supermax deal? He's not worth it.
No, but that's what. I mean, I don't even know if they can they? Because I think you're only allowed one. Are you not?
Okay, my bad. A max. Would you pay him a max contract?
I mean, that's what the Knicks are forcing you to do. They're going to offer him 4 for $100. They're going to force your hand. If you want to keep him, that's what you're going to have to do. So either you lose him or you pay him.
You lose him and you move on.
Well, can they do things kind of like how the NFL does, where it doesn't go against the cap, where you have incentives, or does it all go against the cap?
I think it all goes. I think you can spread it out, but I think I think it just splits. I've never seen a backloaded like the NFL does, the backloaded, because that's why the Lakers can only give Kyrie $6 million. That's all they have.
Well, and the thing too, what I like about the NBA is they allow teams, the teams that drafted a player or the teams that player is on for so many years, they can offer them the most amount of money to stay. And if Kyrie Irving leaves any other team, if he goes to any other team that has the cap space, they still can't offer him as much money as Brooklyn does to keep him there. I like that about it. But the Mavericks they have literally the worst financial in the NBA. They are negative $61 million in debt, basically.
See, I don't understand though, because the Warriors are way over. They just pay the luxury tax. So I think
the
it's
issue.
because
Mark Cuban doesn't want to pay.
Cuban doesn't want to pay it. I don't think they're negative money. I just think he doesn't want to pay the salary. He doesn't want to pay the luxury tax. He's going to have to if he gets Brunson.
I'm not saying they're bankrupt, but they are cap space. They are negative 61 million. They are.
Let's see how are you negative 61 million when Golden
105
State just keeps giving everybody max deals.
How do the Rams continue to sign everybody when they apparently have no money? I have
give away draft
no
picks.
Freaking idea. But that's what they said on 105.3 The Fan the other day. We are literally the worst money cap space in the NBA, and the Rams who are we paying?
The Rams are partly owned by a Walton, so
yeah. Well, I'm like, who are we paying? Because this team's not a championship caliber team right now. Who
Well, you're
we don't
paying.
have
You're
a number
paying
two.
Luka.
Who are we
Yeah,
paying?
you're paying. You're paying Hardaway all that money. Hardaway's contract is through the roof. That's why you can't get rid of him.
Did you just roof? Through the roof. My bad. Anyways, all right. We could get into Dallas Mavericks later on. I just wanted to ask that question. Now, interesting going from this. If Kyrie Irving's Durant's out, there's no way he stays. Now, I think he should for his legacy. Show that you can stay somewhere and win a ring without jumping ship. But he's gone. He's Miami Heat has actually been interested in Kevin Durant if he leaves, and I think if he goes to Miami, that's basically you're joining just.
How does that work though? Is he's not a free agent, so he's going to just demand a trade?
Well, yeah, the NBA they can get out wherever they want, right?
Well,
I mean, they
Harden
have all the
did,
power
yeah.
and they just
Crazy.
force their way out. And could you imagine? And you brought this up the other day. Ben Simmons goes there and he goes there and has nobody to play with.
Yeah, goes to play with Durant. Goes to play with Durant and Kyrie, and then shows up and goes, "Hey guys, I'm healthy."
Oh,
where'd you guys go?
Oh, that I'm gonna laugh my butt off because I can't stand that guy. So I just can't stand that guy. But
Street Clothes Junior.
His is more, I think, mental.
We're talking about Zion Williams.
Okay. Zion Williams, yeah. There's a guy that's going to be the biggest.
Get a max deal. He's going to be the biggest.
He's going to be the biggest bust in NBA history. That guy. But yeah, Kyrie is not wanted by anybody apparently, and except the Lakers will take him. And I had a dream. Interesting. After I left being a Lakers fan and became a Mavericks fan, I had a dream one night that the Lakers made a fantastic trade, got somebody big, and won the championship the next year. And I was pissed because I jumped off and I just laughed at it. And if they get Kyrie Irving, I think that puts them favorite in the West. But that's neither here nor there, I guess. Do we have any more NBA news? I think that was basically it on the NBA front line, the draft and the Kyrie craziness. We don't know where he's going to go. Let's jump into some football here. And I guess we'll go ahead and get the very sad news out of the way. Baltimore's had a tough week, guys. My gosh, say your prayers for the Baltimore Ravens. They've lost Tony Siragusa, has passed away at age 55. Great, fantastic football player for him. Won Super Bowl. He was also a sideline analyst, and he was I wouldn't say a character, not in a bad way, but he was a character. He was the guy that brought the comedy to the set, and a big personality, and was just funny. And they've actually played on the radio the other day. They played a clip where he talks about his dad passed away at 41 or 42, like real early in life, of a heart attack. Bigger guy, just like Tony was. And they asked him about, they asked about his dad, and like, do you have a fear of that? Like that, and his mindset was, hey, if I die tomorrow, he's told his wife, if I die tomorrow, put a smile on your face. I lived a good life. It is what it is, and type thing. And he died at 55. I think I'm not sure if it was the same thing. I think his dad died of a heart attack. I don't know if he died of the same, but very sad news. And then they lose a 26-year-old linebacker, Jalen Ferguson. 26 is way too young to pass away. We still don't know yet why he passed away, and just a sad, tough week for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, when I heard about Siragusa, I still hadn't heard about the rookie and why what happened with all that.
They said no foul play on him is all we've really kind of found out. But
and then Siragusa, I believe, is probably like a sleep apnea, Reggie White type deal, maybe a heart attack, but it was probably a weight issue. These guys are just massive. Are so big in the NFL, and it makes you think though that if you have those type of issues, you want to run to the doctor and get them fixed, because man, that's just,
you never know, man. You never know.
You don't.
You could cross the street tomorrow and get hit by a car. You could live to be 102. You have no idea.
Yeah.
So time is precious.
Yeah. So
Let's get
I mean,
all
that's a very,
morbid here.
very, very rough day for that organization. In a very one of the better run organizations.
Yeah.
You don't hear a lot of complaints coming out of Baltimore on how management is. They take care of their players. They pay the guys. They are always there. They're one of the most well run, drafted. The top the GMs and the head coach. There's no bickering between ownership and management, and so it is a real sad day.
Yeah, that's I was surprised when I saw
Yeah.
that news. So, uh, heart goes out to their families and that organization because that's a lot. So hopefully they do some kind of commemorative something this year.
I'm sure. Hopefully they can put the numbers. I know
numbers,
that the NFL gets real weird about that, putting the numbers on the jerseys, but I think they'll let them.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
the helmet.
we've seen that.
Yeah.
We've seen that before. I think they will, and just crazy news. But we also have some interesting news out of the NFL. Daniel Snyder, in more controversy, continues to stay in controversy. I hope he has to sell the team. The House Committee.
I think that wish is coming very soon.
Yes, and that's good for the. I was about to say Redskins, but whatever you want to call them, Washington football team,
Commanders.
The Commanders is the word I'm looking for. Thank you. Good news for
Hey,
them.
maybe this is Bezos' time to buy a team.
Bad, yeah, could be bad news.
Yeah.
Bad news for the NFC East, because that means someone might come in and actually be competent enough to put a good team together.
Yeah.
But the House Committee says Daniel Snyder conducted a shadow investigation to bury findings of an official probe. Anytime you hear somebody doing an internal investigation, you're like, okay, what's going to come in this? They said that Daniel Snyder bullied people. He basically, just basically was the big bully in there and said, oh, we found no wrongdoing. Well, yeah, because everyone's scared of you.
Yeah. Well, that whole organization's poorly ran with the sexual assault or sexual misconduct in the front office, and the women walking up the glass staircase, and I mean, that thing is just it's a dumpster fire. It's a dumpster fire.
It's a complete dumpster
and
fire.
He's running it.
He's running, yeah, exactly right, and he's the reason it is why it is. And he actually didn't. He said, "I'm out of town. I can't be there for the meeting."
Yeah,
even though you got Skype on the computer, I don't know. But he's actually been subpoenaed and he'll be forced to sit before these investigations and answer for his wrongdoings. Roger Goodell, bringing that up, actually was there the other day, and he says they asked him, "What are you doing about this?" And he says, "I have no power, no authority," which he doesn't, unfortunately, to overthrow and make him sell his team. But I think we're headed for him selling this team, and that's great news for the team. Finally, that's bad news for the Cowboys and the NFC East, because you want this guy to ruin this organization. But
him and his wife, he just turned everything over to his wife when he thought
which he's going to be in her pocket. I mean, the pocket.
Yeah, which means he's still in control.
He's still in control.
It was just the way of it,
Jeff, you got any say or any more comments on the Washington Commanders debacle of an organization?
I mean, I think eventually they'll be forced to sell, and it seems like there's a lot of people willing to put some money up for some teams, and the Broncos were sold, and I think this team will also probably be sold, and they'll probably get $5 billion. I mean, something. I'm sure it's going to be worth a lot. So it'll be a bidding war, and that'll take. I'm not sure we'll see it this season, but it may even go throughout the season and all that kind of stuff. So that's just going to be a big mess. But that organization needs a purging.
It's been a long time coming with this. It's been pretty bad there, and this is kind of why I like that Green Bay doesn't have an owner. They don't have an owner, because you could get someone like this and completely run your organization to the ground, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can get a guy, huh?
Brian's part owner of the Packers.
Yeah, probably.
I wish. I would have spent $300 on it if it did something for me, but I just can't. I just can't do that. It's just a piece of paper. There's a bunch of Dallas Cowboy fans that are stuck with an owner they don't like. So not that he's Daniel Snyder, but they're stuck there.
Yeah.
And then they got to wonder about, is his son going to be any better?
It's going to be
It's
the
gonna
same.
stay-
No,
it's
it's
gonna
going to
stay in-
That apple didn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah,
It's
they
not
call
going to change even
what
when
is
Jerry
he-
goes away.
what's his nickname,
Oh.
Mr. Cap Space?
Yeah.
Because we've got some other football news, but it's a little bit of college football news. Arch Manning.
This was shocking because if you're the kid that just transferred there, you're mad.
Well, let me
You're
get it
upset.
out. Let me get it out first, because there are probably people that haven't heard it. Probably like, what are you talking about? Which I don't know. You must be living in a rock. You haven't heard it.
Yeah.
But Arch Manning has committed to the Texas Longhorns, and actually, that was the favorite for where him to go, like over the odds. But they are stacked at quarterback position.
Yeah.
They are stacked. They just drafted the best quarterback in the draft. Or not drafted, I say drafted.
Number one prospect or commitment.
Yeah, they got the number one commitment, and this Arch Manning's the number one as well, and he's coming there not this season but next year. There's rumors of him redshirting it, which means that'll give the quarterback. What's the other quarterback's name? I don't even know his name.
I read it. It's a kid who just transferred in from a different school because he the same thing happened to him.
Yeah.
Is he was sitting there and waiting in line, and then somebody jumped him in line. So he's like, "All right, I'm going to go play over here." So he goes to play for Texas, and they promise him the world. And then Arch Manning comes in.
Well, they say that when Arch Manning was there, that he was at the hip with Arch Manning and wanted him to come there, and like there was shows great leadership, because most people be like, bro, don't come here, it sucks, get out of here, I want to play. But we'll see what happens. I mean, it's always good to have a plethora of quarterbacks. You just got to make sure you choose the right one, and Arch Manning is picked to be the next Manning, right?
They said he could be the best of them. Is what I read.
He looks fantastic. His tape looks fantastic. I mean,
imagine if the quarterback that's ahead of him is a Breeze or like a Roethlisberger.
Yeah. I mean, if Arch Manning doesn't redshirt, Arch Manning is probably the guy. He's got the not only the talent, and I'm not saying the other guy's not talented, but with that name, you're gonna put him in. Yeah. You're gonna get more eyes. You're gonna get more.
You would catch Jimbo Fisher. Not Jimbo Fisher. The guy that's
you're bad with names today. They just got a new head coach.
Tom or whatever. Oh, yeah, they did get a new coach.
You want to look that up real quick?
Yeah.
Why didn't he go to Tennessee?
I don't know.
Or Ole Miss. I think he doesn't want to follow those footsteps. Like Peyton Manning didn't go to Sarkisian. Peyton Manning didn't go to Ole Miss because he didn't want to follow in his dad's footsteps, right? He didn't want to have to carry that legacy. Now, Eli Manning did, but there was enough time in between where Eli Manning he really wasn't brought up back to Arch. And interesting, they've kept
20 years since Eli was there.
They've kept this guy in. They've kept Arch Manning from social media. They've kept him out of the spotlight. That was his first His first tweet of all time was, "I've committed to Texas." So pretty awesome, pretty interesting.
He didn't want to go to TCU?
No, TCU.
Come on.
No. I wish. I would be jumping up. I mean, TCU would lose their minds if he went there. I'd be like, man, we're going to the national championship, guys. My thing is will they win? Does this bring him a national championship? Texas.
Sarkisian is not my first choice of coaches, so I don't know.
In my opinion, Texas is the Dallas Cowboys of
they've struggled for a long time.
A lot of hype, and they don't put it together. And now they're joining the SEC, where they've got to put it together because the SEC is dominated. The SEC owns the NCAA football. They own it. They run the show. Everyone else is living in it. Everyone's kind of jumping to SEC except Lincoln Riley. But
he wanted out of the SEC.
He wanted out of the SEC. Anyways, but I'm interested to see.
Why didn't he go for one of the top teams, LSU?
He could have. I honestly respect this move. I think he wants that pressure on him. He wants that pressure of, I could be the next guy to take the Longhorns to the national championship. I like the move. If he went to Alabama, I would have probably vomited. you know.
yeah.
So I'm glad he went somewhere that they have talent and they're a well-known organization. But can he put it together? And we're gonna find out. And I like the move from him. I'm not. I think it's gonna be lead to a national championship. I don't know. I think they're gonna be in the hunt every year for it when he gets there. But like I said, they got to put it together. The only other overhyped team, well, not the only other team, but Notre Dame is overhyped than an MFer, and my gosh, they don't ever win championships. But
Now, are we going to get to see him in the new NCAA football game?
yeah,
I think
it comes
so.
out in 2023, right?
Yeah.
They were talking about putting him on the cover. I go, he won't play a one game. You can't put him on the cover yet. Let's calm down there a little bit, guys. I mean, look, geez, if he comes in, he's the next Peyton Manning, fantastic. But
Yeah.
that's a lot of shoes to fill.
That is a lot of pressure on a kid, though.
Yeah.
He look, he has all the attributes. He has the arm, the head, the athletic ability, the forehead. Oh man, I was thinking his smarts, but the brains, whatever you want to call it, to throw the ball all over the field, and his tape is amazing. But that's good news for Texas. Bad news for Oklahoma. Good luck competing against that guy twice a year after your coach left and took your quarterback with him. But well, the only other news I got is the Lightning win. Lightning win in Game 5, a close game down to the third quarter that they put a goal in with like 5 minutes left, and they stay alive. This series could get interesting. Tampa Bay, go back to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's great at home. This could go to Game 7. This is interesting because when I watched the first two games, I said, wow, Colorado is on a different planet, and Tampa Bay is going to get run off the ice. But they fought back. They played really well at home.
They played really well last night. They played really well. One of the goals was a cheap deal because they called a terrible icing call and put the puck down in Colorado's end, and Colorado takes it and scores off the faceoff, and that goal should have never happened. And the second goal was actually off the Lightning skate and went right through his legs. It went. They were jockeying in front of the net, and it goes off his skate and goes underneath Vasilevsky. And so I think it goes to Game 7. I really do.
I think it's so weird because when you get into the finals and you get into, I mean, no matter what sport it is, whether it's football, baseball, you're going to get these weird bounces. You're going to get these weird, like, oh, that was a weird goal. And these guys are really good, man. Like, and so there's going to be those awkwardness. There was a couple of times where some of those shots were so close, and it's just incredible to see how close
one
these
went
shots
right behind Vasilevsky across the whole crease, like almost even with the line, and missed the goal. I mean, the guy was on a breakaway. It was a terrible turnover by the Lightning. The guy comes in by himself and deeps Vasilevsky, and Vasilevsky's going the other way, and he misses the net, and he's like behind the net, like, how did I miss that? Like he just.
I think
I love watching stuff like that.
In any sport, when you win a championship, you kind of have to have that luck on your side. A bounce here, a missed tackle there, a missed
and Vasilevsky before last night had let up one goal in 9 elimination games. One, not one per game. One in 9 elimination games. So I think, when it comes backs against the wall, that guy plays out of his mind. So
if he keeps that up,
they might. Sunday night, Sunday night with the crowd on their side. I think it goes to Game 7.
It's gonna be interesting because from Colorado seems to try to adjust. When something's going wrong, like they got blown out the game before, and so this was a lot
why
closer.
They changed what they were doing. Instead of just going downhill and keep firing the puck.
I think
they're changing.
They look like a completely different team. It looked like the Lightning couldn't keep up with them.
And I do think that they're gonna put more pressure on that goalie. I think you're gonna see a lot more shots coming from Colorado going into this next game. They're gonna be firing constantly on him. And when it's hockey, all it takes is a little squeeze here, a little, he didn't cross his legs. He didn't cross his legs or
Colorado
get down
goes
and block.
up 2-0. but then they challenge the offsides and they take that goal away. And then because you challenge, you get a penalty. So that puts the Lightning on a power play. It changed the whole dynamic of the game. It shifted it all back to Tampa's side.
Wait,
I could see it. I mean, I could see it to where it's close in game, in game 6 and maybe Colorado wins, but I could see them tied going into overtime just like they did before. And then whoever, goes to that. But if it goes to game 7, I don't know what
that building was rocking last night.
It's 50-50. It's a coin flip because game 7 will be in Colorado.
Yeah, dude.
And Colorado, they haven't won since 2001. When that's like that last time I really was into hockey.
That was their first year, I think.
I guess
Joe Sakic and all them guys.
Oh,
Patrick.
Yeah.
Oh man, he was fantastic. Now, let me ask you. Let me go back to that question here real quick. If you challenge in hockey, your team goes on a penalty.
If you lose the challenge, yes.
Okay.
If you get the challenge right, then you're fine. Okay. If you win it, but if you challenge it, saying my guy was not offsides, and then he was, or whatever. If they reverse the call, then the team that challenges, the team that loses the challenge, goes on the power play.
I like that.
Yeah, I think the NFL should do
them from. Yeah.
Oh, NFL that should be a 15-yard penalty. You challenge it didn't happen.
Yeah. It'll lessen it down.
I like that.
Or put that in baseball and remove the outfield. It's like, well, for one pitch, the outfield's out.
One pitch. Oh, okay. Although, yeah, you're down a center fielder. You gotta play the outfield too. Speaking of the outfield, I'm going to talk about a trade real quick that happened between our two teams. Craig, Willie Calhoun gets sent to the San Francisco Giants for who is it? Who do we get?
Steven Duggard. Steven Duggard. You guys made out on this trade a whole lot better. Mm-hmm. Duggard is an outfielder we just don't have room for. We've got Jock Peterson, we've got Yastrzemski, we've got all these guys, and he just kind of got lost in the shuffle. I think he got in the doghouse with the coaching staff and just never really made it out. He doesn't have a lot of pop. He'll hit you 5 or 10 homers a year, but he's lightning quick. He's got a cannon for an arm. He can track down anything in center field.
We need a center fielder.
So unless you're gonna make out on that deal.
I like the deal. We got rid of a guy.
He was out of options, basically, kind of like Calhoun. He's been up and down and up and down and up and down, and so
we had no room.
I don't know Calhoun. I don't know if I like that move or not. He kind of seems like a head case, but we'll see.
I would say I would not like that move, and when we got the guy, I said, okay, you told me about him. I go, I kind of like the move because Calhoun was a guy that showed promise, and then he got hit in the jaw with a fastball and broke his jaw, mentally messed him up, and he's never been the same. And when we put him back in the lineup, we sent him up and we sent him down, and we sent him up and we sent him down, and we have guys that are young guys that are coming in, they're playing way better than him, and we sent him down again. He said, okay, the trade me. He actually said, I want to trade. That's why we traded him. So the guy we're getting is a guy that we need a center fielder. Adolis is fantastic, but he makes a lot of he makes some fantastic grabs, but I've seen him make some plays. I'm like, in the outfield, like, what was that, dude?
Nelson Cruz out last night on a rope.
Oh, dude, he's fantastic. I love the guy. I saw him one time make a really bad play on the ball. I'm like, that looked like you don't play center field at all, but he makes some fantastic plays. He's good with the bat, and he has a fantastic arm. You don't want to run on him. But I like that we got rid of Calhoun just because he never really, and maybe he'll go there and maybe a complete different guy for you. Sometimes the change of scenery will do that, but I liked it. All right, guys, well, we're getting really long in this episode. It's an hour and a half just about right now. It is that time we ask at the end of the episode. Let's talk to Jeff here first. What's in your locker, Jeff, since you haven't been on in a little bit? So what's in your locker, brother? Work and more work. That's basically what has been going on. We feel you on that note.
Busy, helping my mom out, with stuff here and there. I went over there last weekend, and my wife was over there for a week before that. And so I went over there and spent the weekend with my mom and her, and then we came back home. But on last Saturday, helped my grandfather move a fridge into a truck bed that he needed to get to his property. And so that was interesting going down that steep. You remember how steep the driveway is, Brian?
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Yes.
it's an extremely steep driveway. So helped him with that. My mom needed a tree planted, helped her with that.
They've got some nice
And-
land out there, man. They have some really nice land
Yeah.
out in
And
Colorado.
so yeah, we did all that, and grandparents visited with them for a little bit and grilled out, and just kind of enjoyed it. And then been working, paying attention to the hockey, which is kind of everybody in my work is a hockey fan, so they're all like going insane every week. Everybody has like their Avs shirts and stuff on Fridays, so they're all like geared up every week to hopefully win something. There's a guy that actually in my department who lives right across from Ball Arena, so he gets to hear. There's a
Nice.
he gets to hear all the people, and they'll do the watch parties, and he hears them yelling, and he's like, I don't even have to watch the game. I just hear them scream. I know they scored. So that's kind of cool.
You can hear the horn.
Yeah.
Apartment
So,
shake.
yeah. So yeah, we
scored.
I've been paying attention to that more, which is interesting. I haven't really watched hockey in a long time, but these are kind of cool. I've watched this series since the beginning, so especially in the finals, and it's pretty interesting, to watch. I haven't watched it in so long. So it's
Me
kind of
neither.
cool.
I've gotten back into it this little in the playoffs, and I'm going to get back and start it next season and kind of keep up with the Dallas Stars as my team. And I was Dallas Stars kids growing up, but I kind of fell out of it. But man, going to a hockey game will have you be a hockey fan. That it is by far the most electric game when you go, and it just be a regular season game. It's not even got to be playoffs. And it's
you were a Fort Worth Brahmas fan, weren't you?
I've been to some Brahmas games. And you know what changed that?
What?
I went to a Dallas Stars game, and when I went back to the Brahmas game, I was like, I just can't watch this. It's so bad compared to the Stars and the speed they play at. And I'm just like, yeah, I can't go. And I can't go back to the Brahmas.
Been watching that. I'm starting to pay more attention to baseball now that it's kind of getting interesting with the Yankees.
Now that your guy got paid without arbitration.
Yeah, they voided arbitration, which is great. They're still going to have to pay him.
Yeah.
$300
million contracts coming.
It's going to be massive, dude.
Yeah. That's what she said.
So yeah, I've been paying attention to that. Freaking lost the Astros last night. Pissed me off.
The cheaters.
But piece of crap. And Verlander just won't stop. I'm getting annoyed.
There's got to be something, Craig. We talked about this. Verlander goes there.
God.
He's 50 years old, and he's about to win a Cy Young. How in the world?
After Tommy John.
After Tommy John surgery.
He's got a mechanical arm. Something's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been, hopefully we can win the series. I think there's 2 more games left, and hopefully we can win the series with Houston. That was my biggest thing. Someone asked me, they're like, when are you going to take it serious? So I'm like, when we beat Houston. And they're like, okay. I was like, because we've beaten everybody else. So we can beat Houston. I think we're good.
Well, if they didn't cheat, you might have won a World Series that year. But that's here or there. I'm never letting that go. I'm gonna be petty. About
they still get booed, dude. I hear the game, and it's still. And as soon as Altuve comes up, they boo him. I'm like, God. But yeah, so it's I've been paying attention to that more. I will take it more seriously if this continues. This winning stuff continues. Right up until All-Star break, trade deadline area, and then that's when I'm like, okay, this is legitimate. We're actually going to do something here. So that's exciting. Other than that, waiting for football. I'm just ready for the freaking preseason, man. I just want to see some of these. I want to see Wilson out there throwing. So, I'm just curious about that. I know that they're practicing close to where I work. But they said people at my work say you can just go out there. So I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, other than that, just chilling out, ready for the 4th of July weekend. I have a day off on Monday, so getting excited for that.
Must be nice. That must be nice. We don't get those here at Waste Connections.
I'm surprised though. I'm surprised you guys don't have that. I mean, I don't know.
Christmas and New Year or Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Thanksgiving and
so-
Christmas. That's it, brother, man. We work all trash
Other
don't
than that-
stop.
Yeah.
Other than that, nothing much outside of what I talked about. What's going on in your locker, Craig?
Well, we got a little barbecue this afternoon for the guys at work. Me and
Yeah,
Brian are
buddy.
gonna go defend the cornhole championship belts that we
Yes,
have,
we
and that's about it. Work has been crazy. We're finally starting to get staff back up, and I'm ready for that. But that's about it. Just this barbecue and hang out with some guys and try to dodge the sun, and that's about it.
Just
So,
just like with bowling, when you have your custom, your custom ball,
Yeah.
everything. Brian, you got to bring your custom.
Custom
Cornhole,
boards, and we
brother,
got them. They're loaded in the car.
they
They're
already
already in the-
load. They already in the car, brother, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went to
Podcast.
promote
cornhole
that. Yeah,
stuff.
it's podcast cornhole. Yeah,
All right, fellas,
we
I'm
went-
gonna have to jump off here. These dogs are going nuts, and I have no idea why. So
you got to get
know
a good head start too.
I know it's in the
35-minute
background. So yeah, that's true.
All right, well, Craig,
So-
thanks for coming on. You go ahead
All
and
right,
jump
brother.
off, and
We'll
I'll
see you
talk about-
Tuesday.
Bye.
Well, my locker this week, we got a party to go to. That's why I was like, we got to start this at a certain time. I know Craig's got to drive, but he's cooking out some brisket. We're gonna play some cornhole. It's supposed to be 103 degrees today in Texas, so it's gonna be
It's in the 50s here.
it's gonna be miserable. No, it's not.
Yes, dude, it is.
I quit.
It's like 60 something right now, I think.
I give up. Dude, June. It started in June, and usually this don't start until August, into July, August. It's been ridiculous. I'm talking 105, feeling like 110 in Texas, and it's miserable.
Ugh.
I would be in Utah if the housing market. Before we bought this house, we were thinking about moving back to Utah with the housing market where it wasn't where I needed it to be. So we decided to stay, and I love Texas, and I would probably miss it if I ever left again. I already moved to Utah for 1 year and came back, but it is summertime. I can't take my kids outside, man, unless it's to the pool because it's just so hot and it's crazy. But yeah, it's 104 today, 103 tomorrow. Monday. We got a cold front coming in, going to be 94 and rainy. So muggy. It's going to be fantastic. We got that party to go to. I've been playing a lot more video games. I was on vacation last week, so I was able, not this last week, but the week before, I was able to play some video games. We had the new PS Plus, and got a bunch of free games, so that's been fantastic. I've been really playing the heck out of Miles Morales. Fantastic Spider-Man game.
It's an awesome game. Yeah.
Dude, that game is freaking awesome. I love that game. Ghost of Tsushima, I tested that out for like 5 minutes the other day. It's fantastic as well so far. I'm just slicing
That
and
opening
dicing.
sequence was like incredible, dude. Where
Dude,
you
yes.
all of a sudden you ride out into the field and it's like, what the?
Everything's on fire. You're like, what in the world? Slicing and dicing people, man. So
Oh yeah.
fantastic. We've been playing some Rocket League together. But other than that, I have been just busy with work. We had to put the van in the shop, so we're down a vehicle, which is always fun, fun stuff. I got to go spend about $800 to fix it, which is cheaper than I was expecting. So that's kind of a blessing. But we got a birthday party to go to tomorrow. We got a baptism to go to tomorrow. So this weekend's been really busy. We got that party at 2:00 here with some brisket and some cornhole and some good time with some buddies from work. So that's been fantastic. Trying to think of anything else that I got. I'm starting something up. I've kind of talked about it a little bit. I'm going to do that on a different episode where I just come on here and just talk about that. So it's just about that. I'm starting something I want to get into. That's pretty much about it, man. That's pretty much about it. Taking care of the kiddos and trying to survive all the expensive stuff, the freaking,
Oh, yeah.
all the everything, gas prices, food prices, everything. But as we all struggle with that. Anyways, other than that, that's about it, my man. It's good to have you on. It's good to have you on. I was like,
good to be back
man,
on.
I'm glad to be back on. I know work's been busy and stuff with you, and so you didn't get much training. So,
Yeah.
That's the problem. But we need to. So going into this is the slow season of sports where it's hockey is about to be an end and it's just baseball. So I want to bring back where we all decide to watch a documentary or whatever, and then we can talk about it. I want to bring that back. I really like when we did that.
Okay.
I want to start a segment of Would You Rather on Fridays and just kind of give questions with all three of our opinions. Would you rather have this guy or that? Would you rather whatever? You know what I mean? I think those are kind of fun and start up a good conversation debate on that. But it's time to get creative.
Would you rather Rodgers or Prescott?
Oh, it's not even a question. I'll take Prescott all day. No, see, I debated on putting the Prescott in my top 10, and I'm going to get some flack from Ryan if he listens to this episode.
You probably are.
But he was either number 10 or he's out of it, and I put Derek Carr in front of him. I'm hoping Dak Prescott listens to this and motivates him, man. That's what that was.
your list will. He's really focused on it, man.
Oh man, I need to.
He's going to mention that in post-game conversations. You know what? A freaking idiot put me out of the list.
What an idiot! The Outspoken Sportscast, dude. If we got mentioned on that, it would blow up. But all right, guys. Well, that's going to be the end of this episode. It's a long one, but that's perfectly okay. Look, guys, share us, tweet us, like us, comment. We are live every Tuesday and Friday. I know today's Saturday. We missed yesterday because of some things, but we always get 2 episodes out a week. It's usually me and Craig on Tuesday, and then it's been me and Craig on Friday, but Jeff jumps on Friday as well, and we all have a good sports topic and debates and headlines. And let us know if you want to email us at outspokensportscast@gmail.com if you have any content you want us to talk about, have any questions, answers for the host. If you want to if you want to comment on our live stream, go watch us on YouTube. You can comment and watch live. You can watch live, but you can also comment and be a part of the show. So, guys, we appreciate your support and your love. And we send it right back at you, the love and support. And God bless, guys. And let's remember to keep it outspoken.
Keep it outspoken, guys.